Yeah, here we go again. Oh, and I got so sidetracked now. So what was it? I think I'm gonna be like doing this Sonic Mario thing for like the entirety of this series. At least if it goes on as short as I hope. What I know what's going to happen is I'm going to get so sick of these early levels that I'm going to get impatient and start trying to do the run-through super fast thing, like right now, and start making dumb mistakes. Okay, let's not do that. If we keep doing it, playing smart like we have been up to this point, then this might not take too long. I can't remember. Oh yeah. Basically, yeah. Manuals were your tutorials back in the day. Like that was the way that developers. That was the sort of the predominant paradigm of the day. Was we read a manual where we tell you everything you need to know. I don't think you can hold it against like old games for like not having in-game tutorials. That just like was not the accepted paradigm at the time. It's like as long as there was a good manual, you're fine. And like these days, like if you want to get into like a classic game without a manual, you've got game facts, and even if they don't, like sure you don't want to do like hold the walkthrough every step of the way or anything like that, but surely like there's always a section that like nobody reads at the start of every FAQ where it's just like they tell you like the basic controls and like everything that's basically in the manual that nobody reads because I mean, they're on game FAQs to cheat their way through a game, not to learn how to play it. But, I mean, I guess that's not actually true. I actually go to, like, when I'm, like, kind of investigating old games that I don't have manuals for, I actually will often go to, if I'm not able to kind of figure things out on my own, I will go off the game FAQs and try to see if there's, like, a walkthrough or something there that has, like, a list of the basic controls or something like that. Anyways, that was kind of a tangent. Sonic versus Mario. No, I'm not going to warp. We decided that already. It's going to be a 1cc run, no matter what. And, like, I wouldn't go so far as to say that I don't dislike the original Super Mario Brothers. It just kind of never clicked with me in the way that pretty much every other platform game that I like has. Although I don't know what it is with this run. It's like, I don't know. I think it really is the commentary where I'm just not really thinking as hard and I'm just going on like pure reaction. And a lot of it is I'm going a lot more slowly too. I'm not, I'm really like making an effort to like, I'm playing for survival. Oh yeah, and that was the other thing I was talking about where it's like, I think the game kind of encourages you to play it this way. Like there's a lot of, like hidden coin blocks where you gotta like hit every brick to uncover, and especially in some of the later levels where it's like mushrooms are really difficult to come by. And that was the observation I was kind of in the middle of earlier, where it's like in my my Let's Play of the Super Talking Time Brothers game, not really in the Let's Play, but I was looking at their forums because like the Talking Time guys did or the guys who made Super Talking Time Brothers, who were the same guys, not necessarily posting in this thread I'm talking about, but who were like members of the same forum, and they're kind of, oh, this is interesting. Will I get fire or no? Okay. Not necessarily the same guys, but guys on the same forum who were talking about kind of Mario level design and sort of what their standards are as to what kind of levels they want to have in their Mario game. And one of their standards was like, every level needs to have like good mushroom placement. It's like there needs to be a mushroom at the start of the level and there needs to be a mushroom right after every checkpoint, or else you've made a bad level. They were like really severe about this and like really hating. And I think Brick Road was like on this with his not Super Talking Time Brothers, but the what was it? The other one, Super RMN Bros, where it's like, oh, they didn't include a freaking mushroom in this level, in a good place in this level. So now I'm stuck at this checkpoint or at the start of this level, and I got to do all this stuff without a mushroom because it's like, it's like going, mushroomless is like, going with 0 rings in like a Sonic game, except in Sonic rings are like freaking everywhere, whereas in some of kind of the lesser Mario levels, mushrooms can be like really, really hard to come by. In fact, there were some levels we played through, like I just played through. There were like no mushrooms, and I thought that was just kind of funny, like going through this game. And it's like, Talking Time guys going on about how, every level needs to have like a mushroom at the start and like a mushroom after every checkpoint, and like actual Mario games do not follow those standards, and especially the original Mario Brothers doesn't. There are like whole levels that we saw or maybe I just missed them and they were in like hidden blocks or something. Whatever. Even then, even worse if that's the case. But yeah, there are like, and actually I noticed that last time I played through Mario Brothers 3, there are actually very, very long segments of levels where you just don't have a mushroom, and it's like, I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world, but I just thought it was kind of a funny contrast, where it's like some of the Talking Time brothers, or some of the Talking Time guys, not necessarily the same guys, but the Talking Time brothers devs were like talking about how this is like this big thing. Be sure to give them a mushroom so that they don't have to do a bunch of stuff, like go through huge sections of level small, and it's like original Mario Brothers games did that. And especially this one, and I just thought that was kind of funny, as like kind of a contrast between that kind of Mario, or Talking Time Bros development thread versus this Sonic thread, where they're kind of ignoring some of the faults of the original Mario Brothers game, which I was kind of getting into. I don't dislike this game. It's perfectly decent fun. It just kind of gets frustrating for me a lot of the time, just because no continues, which, like I said, in fact, I don't think I've replayed this game. Or I think I did do one replay after I did after I watched the Super Talking Time Brothers race, right after I learned about the continues. I actually did a playthrough of this game, and it's like, okay, if I'm not going to do a 1cc, I'll at least get through with continues. And I think I made it to like World 7, I want to say, and then I just got so freaking frustrated with, I think it was the Fortress or something of that level. It was one of the 7, I think, maybe 8, although I don't think it was. One of the stupid maze levels where you got to go through on like a specific order. And it just like really infuriated me, and I couldn't figure it out. And I got pissed off, so I quit at that point. Or it wasn't that I quit. I gave it it took a few and of course every time I would die, and it was a difficult Fortress level, so I kept on dying and getting a game over, and I'd have to restart from the start of the world every time it would happen. And then eventually what happens, inevitably, this happened to like several people in the Racing Time race, is eventually you just like, it's like, okay, hit start, retry. Oh shit, I didn't hold the right buttons, and so now I'm back to the start of the game. And that's what happened to me on that. And I think I tried it again the next day, and the same thing happened again, where eventually I forgot to hold the button, and I ended up kicked back to the start of the game. And it's like, well, shit. That was bullshit. That was some bullshit. That fish... The way hopping off enemies works in this game is weird too. It's not like, I love what they did with the later Mario games, where it's like, you can like hold down the button to get a bit more of a bounce, and you get like a bit more, even if you don't hold down the button, you get like a bit more of a bounce with a bit more air control, and it's just great. Oh, there's a thing that like speedrunners, or even casual, like good Mario players do, where they can like jump up the stairs at the end of the stage without losing their running momentum. And I try to do that every time, and I just miss it. Like, I think I gotten it like maybe once on this sort of playthrough, or really series of playthroughs. Not really playthroughs, since I haven't made it through the game yet. I guess series of attempts. That's what we'll call them, I think. And it's just like, yeah, I'm definitely kind of getting much more of a handle on the controls this time around. I think that practice run, and the fact that I'm kind of taking it a bit more slowly this time, really, really helps. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to the level where this, like, or to the point where, like, this is a game I can, like, just run through the levels, like not just the way that good Mario players do with Mario games, but the way I do with Sonic games. That's one of the reasons I like the Sonic games so much, is that I'm so... They just flow so well for me. Like, I've gotten so good at them that I can just breathe through the levels, and it's not even dropping a lot of momentum, and it's just like, it just feels really good to play and really fun. And it's like, I don't really get that with Mario. It's still kind of an ordeal for me at this point. Oh, and it's so unforgiving, too. The Mario game, yeah. And again, I'm just gonna be comparing Mario to Sonic all the way through this. In the Mario game, I don't understand, like, how people can say that, like, yeah, they didn't beat any of the Sonic games when they, like, beat the original Mario Brothers. Like, that's another thing I think you can say is, like, not just my personal preference, but, like, an objective fact between the two games is that Mario is way the frick harder than any Sonic the Hedgehog game. Like, seriously. Like, Sonic the Hedgehog, you've got limited continues, but, I mean, really Mario, you have 0 continues unless you know that stupid trick about holding the buttons on the starting menu, and even then, if you do enough retries, and you're gonna forget it eventually, and, excuse me, need a drink. I'm actually drinking a excuse me, original 16 Copper Ale. And actually, just coming off of a Azure Dreams play session where I had a glass of cherry whiskey. So maybe it's all the alcohol that's actually helping me out so much. Ah, man, see, like right there, the bounces don't quite work the way I expect them to in this game, and okay. I was thinking, like, I want to try for, like, a mushroom on that bottom block, but star in the top is just as good. Oh, right, I missed that stupid, the Sky Secret Bonus World thing. I missed the fast steps again. Oh, no, I forgot what I was talking about now. Oh yeah, Mario games, way the frick harder, and it's like, even then, it's like Mario, it's like you take 2 hits and you're dead. And you've got big sections of level where there's like no mushrooms, so it's like big sections of level where you've potentially got to go through without taking a hit. That's like Sonic, like, flooded with rings. As long as you have 1 ring, like, you're golden. Like, unless you fall into a pit or something, which are like not really super common in like the early Sonic games. I think there's like, maybe, or I can see Wing Fortress. Wing Fortress in Sonic 2 is really tough. Scrap Brain Zone. Actually, I guess I can kind of see it in that, like, it's the final levels of Sonic games that tend to be really tough. Like, Scrap Brain is a big step up in difficulty from the previous levels. Wing Fortress, kind of less so. But, you know, you've got Falling into Pits, so it's like it's kind of that instant death that can really, those instant death hazards that can really chew through your lives if you're kind of not, especially if you're not good at the controls, now that I think of it. So it's like Sonic 1, I can kind of get. Scrap Brain is pretty tough, although there's like 1 section of the level where there's like a pit to worry about that you usually fall into, and then other than that, it's mainly just obstacles where it's just you got rings. So Sonic 1, not that difficult. Okay, I guess, remembering now, there's the Labyrinth Zone boss too. Labyrinth Zone boss is a big really big stopping point. Unless you, and again, that's really super difficult, almost impossible boss, unless you've got, like, a really solid handle on the controls. That is all about, like, precise very precise control over your momentum for that boss. And especially kind of taking your time and not being too hasty. That's I think I talked about that in my Sonic LP. I don't know why I'm spending so much time talking about, like, specific Sonic stuff. But yeah, I guess I can kind of see that. But, like, in general, like, yeah, you've got continues, though, which aren't too difficult to get. And, like, the extra lives are like, a lot more common in Sonic than the original Mario 2. It's like, original Mario... Actually, have I seen a single... Do 1-up mushrooms exist in this game? Whoa, that just blew my mind. I don't actually know if there are any 1-up mushrooms in this game. Certainly I haven't found any. If there are, they're, like, super hidden, because I've been, like, not super thorough, but, like, reasonably thorough about, like, hitting question mark blocks and even just regular bricks. Like, yeah, I don't think I've seen a single 1-up mushroom. I don't think 1-up... Oh, wow, that's crazy. I never even realized that. No, there's got to be one. Like, yeah, I'm positive I've seen, like, a brown and green 1-up mushroom sprite for... Wow, I'm shocked that didn't kill me there. Yeah, I am positive that I've seen, like, a brown and green 1-up mushroom sprite for the original. Maybe they were introduced in Mario Brothers 2, like Japanese Mario Brothers 2. I don't know, that's crazy now that I think about it. And yeah, also, coins aren't super common either, so like I was saying, you've really got to kind of not really go out of your way, but kind of slow down and take your time to collect all the coins to kind of make that a reliable source of 1-ups. And even then, it's like you don't get that many. You get, like, what, maybe 1-up every, like, maybe 1-up every 3 worlds, and that's if you're taking your time. And it's like, yeah, 1-ups are not that common, especially not compared to Sonic the Hedgehog. And it's just like, I don't know, yeah, I don't know, it just feels like... Sonic 3 and Knuckles, it's like, okay, it's a super long game, but you've got a save system, you've got, like... And yeah, the level design, I think, is even more forgiving than the previous Sonic games. I think that game is, like, way easier than... like any of the other Sonic games, even, and certainly way the hell easier than the original Super Mario Brothers. Like, this is... I honestly think this is like a pretty difficult game, especially if you're going through on like 1 credit. It's like by the time by the time I was good enough at Sonic to like get through the game like reliably, like I didn't really need to use that many continues just because 1-ups were so frequent. Whereas that's not really like oh my god, yeah, like have I even died yet? I think I've died once this run, so I guess that's 2 1-ups by World 4. Yeah, like I said, once about like every 2 or 3 worlds. Like I'm maybe gonna get my next 1-up in World 5. Or, no, it was back the other way. So, I don't know, this game just seems, like, pretty difficult to me. I'm, like, really genuinely surprised that, like, so many people were able to get through it. It's, like I was saying, even people who, like, don't really play that many video games, or, like, who aren't gamers anymore. Like, even people like that got through, like, the original Super Mario Brothers as kids, and I didn't. I'm the one guy who didn't. Like, mind you, I didn't own the game, like, for very long. Or, like, I mean, I continued owning it. Yeah, pretty much continuously after I got, like, my Sega Genesis and stuff. But, like, I didn't play it. At least not, like, once in a blue moon I might have, but... Now, I don't know, this game just seems, like, pretty difficult to me, even if you're not... And yeah, I think that was borne out. Like, go watch the Let's Racing Time race. It's like, oh my goodness, were those guys having, like, even using continues, those guys were having, like, super big problems with the game. And actually, I remember, I actually saw just recently the latest, in Summer Games Done Quick, the SGDQ run of this game was just talking about how the game like really ramps up in difficulty on like World 7, I think they said, and then again on World 8. And we haven't even seen the hardest parts of this game yet. I died on like what, World 6 last time? Wow, that should not have happened. I did not deserve to kill that bullet, but whatever. I guess that's the thing what happened last time. The reason I wasn't remembering seeing the mushrooms in this level, that is the regular growth mushrooms, is because I was Fire Mario throughout most of it, so I wasn't really looking for them. So okay, maybe there are mushrooms. There are frequent mushrooms in these levels, although... Anyways, this is... okay, I was half expecting a mushroom to pop out there, because that's like a super common thing they do in this game, is they put the stupid mushrooms... Oh my god. Again, I'm not used to dealing with these Hammer Brothers. I should have just gotten right in front of them and waited and just like let him toss the hammers over my head. Okay, so I want to go back. If there's a stupid thing, I bet you that's where the mushroom is like the first block on the top row, the one I'm just about to scroll off screen right there. No backwards scrolling is fine. And actually, I guess I should kind of nip this in the bud too. I kind of realize that it's a bit unfair for me to be like Sonic the Hedgehog is like a Sega Genesis game. You're dealing with like, a lot more like hardware power capability. Like, I'm not gonna shit on Mario for not being able to scroll backwards or something. Not only was it like the previous console generation, but it was like super early in the NES generation as well. So it's like, I'm not gonna shit on Mario for like... I mean, I certainly appreciate the game for what it did and what a huge impact this game had on like the history of gaming in general. Like, this is a huge game. I've always respected like the original Super Mario Brothers. Like, even though I've never been crazy about the game personally, like that's mainly just because I was like coming back to it from like kind of a perspective of having played a lot of other platform games since then that I think were a lot kind of better and more refined. It's like especially Super Mario Bros. 3. Like, I almost feel like I almost don't know how anyone could like not feel the way I do about this game if they were to like come back to it like having like years of experience, like come back to this after like having played years of like Mario like 2 and 3 and like a bunch of other like NES platformers that are also similarly good. There's not really that many, not really, especially not very many momentum-based ones. Okay, we'll say though that like mainly Mario 2 and 3. I don't really see how this, like, I feel like this game is like almost inevitably going to be a letdown if you're sort of coming at it from that perspective, or from that sort of well of experience. And so I'm kind of curious. I don't think I've ever actually met anyone who like actually came, or at least anyone who's claimed that they like came back to the original Mario. That was a bit risky, but I've got to be super conservative too, because yeah, lives are so tough to come by. But And it's, yeah, that's the other thing. I don't... And again, I'm not going to shit on the game too much, because again, it's like super early, but it's like, I feel like the level variety is lacking. It's like every level is just kind of, you know, building blocks of the same few types of obstacles. And it's like, I don't know, I don't really get a distinct feel from... It's like, oh yeah, and yeah, Mario, even Mario 2 was good about this, and especially Mario 3, where it's just like, yeah, each world has like its own distinct flavor, its own like unique set of obstacles. It's like they all feel completely different from each other, and even within like single worlds, it's like, I'm not good at remembering numbers, but it's like, yeah, you've got like the Karibo Shu level, you've got like the level where you're riding across a bunch of, not the paratroopers, it's like, what are they? Buzzy beetles? I don't know, it's that... It's the guy, it's like not a flying Koopa, it's like a little thing with like a tiny little red shell with a little black head poking out, and you can like ride on their shells. That level in the Sky World where you're running on like a bunch of those, and then you've got like the pipe maze level, and the level where you've got a bunch of, what are they? I want to call them claptraps, even though that's probably not the name. It's just like, yeah, so many like memorable levels in like the later, especially Mario 3, which I absolutely love. Like I'm not... Like I said, I love the Mario games, it's just not this one. And it's like this, yeah, anyways, this game doesn't really have that, where it's like, I couldn't really tell you, like, what the difference is. It's like, oh yeah, and I found that really funny. It's like the guy, like, at the SGDQ run, like, talking about the levels as if there was, like, they were, like, super distinctive or something. It's like, oh yeah, 6, it's like, oh, 7-2, this is a really interesting level. And it's like, to me, it's like, I could not tell you, like, what is unique from one level to another. It's like, they just all kind of run together in my mind. It's like every level seems like, certainly they're like of increasing difficulty, but there's like nothing to like, other than the increasing difficulty curve, there's not really anything to set them apart in my mind. It's just like, it's just kind of the same shit in different configurations, which is fine. It's just, I think I've mentioned this in my other LPs of kind of other 2D platform games, where it's just kind of my taste in these types of games. And I know a lot of people criticize the games that I like, call them, oh, this game is gimmicky, it's just some kind of new thing on every level that only appears for one level. It's like a good game design, it's just like they use the same pieces over and over. Is like this game, where it's just they have like a small set of pieces that they use over and over again in different configurations. And it's just like... and every time I see people say stuff like that too, it's like, that's not good game design, dude. That's just like your preference. It's like, I prefer, it's like, it's like, yeah, people use the term like gimmicky, like it's like some kind of, shit, this isn't gonna make it, Yeah, I couldn't slow down in time. And again, I don't really feel at any point, like I used to feel, especially when I try to like get through the game, like I try to run through like a speedrunner or something, I feel like when I do that, and then sort of, especially as a kid, I'd feel like the game was kind of screwing me over. On this playthrough, like I haven't really, other than every time I've died, it's either been like kind of a mistake on my part, like I said, just because I feel like the controls are a bit, not clunky, but kind of difficult and require like much more precise timing than I'm used to in games like this, and like a lot... There's no error correction. It's like if I jump at the wrong time, I'm kind of screwed. There's kind of a point of no return after your input, where it's like if you didn't get... I've talked about this already, but yeah, it just kind of feels unforgiving in that sense. Why were those stupid coins even there? They like compel you to slow down and trick me into thinking that I can like make a good jump after that. Okay, we're gonna get through this fucking level. We got 2 lives, we're gonna make a new record and get all the way to World 7, and it'll be glorious. And yeah, it's like, yeah, how do you even... Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, and so what was I talking about? I don't remember. Clunky controls, less air control. Oh yeah, level design, where it's just like, yeah, it's like people saying that like, oh yeah, this, or yeah, it's like people use gimmicky as a pejorative all the time. And I wish there were like a better word, because it's like every time you hear the word, like someone saying that a game is gimmicky, like they always mean it as like something negative. It's like, oh, this game has like a bunch of various obstacles, and this game is constantly changing things up with a bunch of obstacles to sort of give each level its own sort of unique mechanics to really set things apart from each other and have a lot of variety. And that's a bad thing for some reason. What? Okay, I guess sprites were square back in those days, so okay, I can't expect to sit below his nose. That was just me being stupid there. Oh man, it would be really nice to get to a new world. If I can... Oh, fuck. Okay. Oh my god, there was like a ton of different things. It's like 5 times I thought I was gonna, like, something different was gonna happen and I was gonna die, but it, like, I don't know, it just went my way for some reason. Yeah, maybe that's it. It's the physics are, I'm just kind of lucking. It's like and so many times that's happened on these attempts where it's just I expect something to happen, and I expect Mario to behave in a certain way, and he does, based on my inputs, of course. It's not like he's controlling himself, and then he does something different, but it's something different in my favor, where it's like, oh, I made a mistake. Oh, no, I didn't. That's happened a bunch of times on these runs. Okay, so we got 1 life going into 7-4, or 7-1, rather. Probably not the run, but we're seeing improvement. Yeah, I was kind of expecting this to be like a multi-day, like a big session, like a big ordeal, where I just, like, spend, like, a week or a month trying to get through the original Super Mario Brothers. I almost feel like at the rate I'm going, I might be able to get through this in one sitting. Okay, what the fuck, dude? Like, seriously, it's like you just play the video back. You see I'm, like, underneath the fucking bullet in midair. It's like the bullet, like, rams, like, right into, like, my asshole. Or not my asshole. It's like the bullet, like, dings me in, the opposite of the asshole. The bullet dings me right in the frickin' head, and that counts as, like, me jumping on the bullet, and it dies. And then right there, it's like the bullet dings, like, right into my anus, and it's like, and that counts as a hit. It's like, what the fuck? And I'm sure something was going on there. It's like, I just don't understand the way the physics work. It's like, I'm not saying that it's like they should work different, or like that bouncing is like wrong or something. It's just, I don't get the way it works. It's a lot of the time. It feels inconsistent, even though it's kind of, I think it's less that that it's inconsistent, and it's just that my expectation, I'm sort of constantly adjusting my expectations, trying to find, like, the right, it's like, oh, it's like, one time it's like, oh, okay, I expected more. It bounced a bit more than I expected that time when I hopped off that enemy. I'm gonna remember for next time, Mario bounces a bit higher than I expect. And then the next time it's like, Mario bounces, like, super low, way lower than I expect. It's like, okay, I expected a bit too much bounce there. And I'm, like, just constantly going back and forth, where it's like, okay, too higher than I expected, lower than I expected. And it's like and I'd never gotten quite a handle on it, on, like, what exactly to expect when Mario bounces off an enemy. And I don't know, it just kind of... And again, I don't fault the game for that. There are obviously people who get it and who are able to, you know, sort of consistently predict what the physics are going to do, essentially. How Mario's going to bounce, what he's going to do if you hold the direction back in the air a certain amount of time at a certain point. And it's like, people have figured that out. People are good at this game. It's just, I'm not... Oh, gosh. I really hate the underwater... Like, don't get me wrong, and again, back to the Sonic comparisons, I dislike the underwater sections of Sonic games as well, but it's like, they're not... Oh, change directions. Wow, these guys are getting smart. Did I get a 1-up? No, I didn't. 7-2, new record, but a bit disappointing. Maybe one sitting was a bit ambitious. I think I'll give it one more shot.